Right, hello and welcome back, and hopefully, touch all the wood, fingers crossed. Hopefully, we should be good to bring you the second half as the Sharks taking on Harlequins over in London. The trail by 2 point. What a game it's been! We've seen some fantastic tries across the park from both sides. We've seen opportunistic tries from the Sharks. We've seen some really well worked tries from the Harlequins. And the game is very nicely poised as we enter the final 40 minutes at the Stoop over in London. And yeah, I said we've just had lots and lots. I mean, yeah, load shedding is wreaking havoc over here in terms of internet connectivity and stuff like that. But hopefully, touch wood, hopefully it is all sorted and we'll be able to get through the second half without any issues. And hopefully we'll then be able to get through the Stormers game later as well without any issues. So stay tuned because hopefully we've got some really cool rugby coming up. But yeah, we've got a poll in the comments and I want to know with you guys. Right now we're 24-22. This is where it stands. Are you backing the Sharks to complete the comeback? Are Harlequins, or I think that's supposed to be a Harlequins comeback as well, because the Sharks did score the first 9 points, but then went down quite far behind when they got down, when there's a couple of tries that, or 3 tries that the Harlequins scored quite quickly. But the main thing with the Sharks is they've hung in there. You know, the try from Jaden Henderson, a brilliant read from Evan Smith, really intelligent play from him. They've given themselves a chance, a big chance. And sometimes all you need is half a chance. And the question is, you know, you've now had a 10-minute break. Both coaches have an opportunity to really sort of chat to their teams and give their sort of instructions. Interesting to see how the bench comes into it, for example. And hopefully, we will have a really strong second half showing from both teams. We'll have a really entertaining final 40 minutes. But yeah, please do smash like the video. Let's try and see as many people back onto the stream as possible. Obviously, I mean, we've lost a lot of people given the fact that we did struggle in the early stage of the first half with a couple of technical issues, but that all seems to have sorted itself out. So hopefully we'll now be able to launch our way into the second half and eagerly cover what is quite a scintillating match. And then later we will be live for Stormers versus Clermont. It should be myself if I have issues technically as well. Then we will bring in another presenter, but we will be covering it one way or another, as the famous song goes. And then we've also got some sevens tonight. We might be able to do the South Africa versus France semi-final. I'm just trying to confirm exactly when that is. There you go, South Africa versus France at midnight. So we might be live for that, we might not. We'll see. I do have to get up early tomorrow to go to a very far away cricket match. So maybe not, might not get to watch that game. But yeah, very good to see our Sevens player team going 3 for 3 and getting through to those quarterfinals up against France. And the semi-final will be a minimum. Try and get to that final and we'll be looking good from a World Series point of view. As the players do come back, right, the Sharks will be playing left to right this time. In the second half, you can see Twickenham in the background there. And the Harlequins are playing right to left. And important for the Sharks to start well. Because, yeah, I mean, as we have seen, that the Harlequins can turn it up and can punish you quite quickly if you do turn off, even for a little bit. So yeah, let's see if the Sharks start well. Let's see what Neil Powers has told his players, and it'll be interesting to sort of see as well in terms of the subs what we might see. For example, Apple Fast hasn't played for a while. Will he get hooked early? Will he play the full game, for example? You know, those sort of questions. You know, a couple of nice players coming off the bench like Sukumbuza Noche. I'd like to see him get a decent run out. Grant Williams and bring a lot of pace into the game. So I think if Harlequins do score first, for example, I think it'll be a very good idea to introduce Grant Williams quite early and try and really pick up the pace from a Sharks point of view and really sort of put the Harlequins back under pressure. The Sharks will have kickoff. Let's try and sort out, make sure that we are all ready, which I think we are. Should be sorted. Yeah, let's have a good second half here. Don't seem to have any audio. I'm not quite sure what the delay is here. Just Service saying, well, we say nice comeback from the Sharks. Now that's keeping the front foot on the neck, 100%. Just so I'm watching the game, and I was crying a lot after Evan scored. Yeah, Danny Kerr was caught unawares there. Joe Marlow guilty of losing his bind, and Evan Smith jumping at the chance to rob him of the ball and go over. Trying not saying you think we need to hammer the Bulls after yesterday's result or look past it. It's difficult. I think the biggest problem, I think Bulls are very much create, they're starting to gain a reputation of really not being able to play away from home. A big tackle, a massive tackle on Andre Estes from his Springbok teammates, Evan Etzebeth and Sirkalisi. Danny Kane, a bit of pressure as Krobler managed to get onto him and bringing him down inside Harlequins to 22. So a bit of pressure for Harlequins as half the pack pile into that ruck to try and secure the ball. Alex Dombrant, the captain, is going to pop it up to Joe Marler. Right, Danny Kerr has managed to free himself on the base of the ruck and will look to bring out the box kick to try and get them further up the park. Won't be able to find touch because it was outside the 22. Plays Buthelezi underneath it, drifting quite. Then comes the side, bounced off Marcus Smith, but it's a penalty for Harlequins. Pushing is the call. Very, very sloppy penalty to concede. Taking it quickly, not finding touch. That Apple Fassi is now under a bit of pressure, but does manage to bring it. Well, it does be brought down inside 22. So Henderson now going to Oxford. Oh, good offload to Thomas Latoy. Big hit on him though, as they do exit 22 very well, creating a nice angle here for Jaden Hendrickson and a penalty for Harlequins. Interesting to see what they'll do here. They're not releasing is the call. It's very kickable. So will they take the 3? Will they go for the corner? They'll go for the scrum. Maybe I'll be very surprised they go for the scrum. But Dombrant is the man that will have to make the call. And the Sharks breakdown been really poor. The ruck speed for the Harlequins has been really good, which has really, given them a lot of impetus in their attack. And I think, the Sharks need, I don't know what they do necessarily, if they're, putting on Sigurd Noche, for example, does help that. But they've really got to try and sort the breakdown out, try and slow the ball down a little bit. And also sort the discipline. The Sharks can see 10 penalties this match. The Harlequins conceding just the 1 so far. Go to the front of the line to Stefan Levis. And it's all broken down, and it goes straight over. The try is scored, the try stands. And it's Stefan Levis, the South African-born former Lions lock, has gone over. And that Maul defense all just sort of crumbled, and eventually Levis basically just turned around and saw open grass. They're all having a discussion with the referee, so he might yet have a look at this. Try's good. No, they've awarded it. They're happy with it. I think it does look fair, actually, to be fair. I think it is. I think if you look, he goes to the top, and he gets driven towards the right, and there's basically no one in front of him as he sort of spins out next to his fellow South African lock, Erne Herbst. Yeah, it's weird how, he said they basically didn't get a chance to recycle at the back, and instead he's kind of just popped out the front. And over he goes. So a little bit of a gift there for Stefan Levis. Perfect start for the Harlequins. The nightmare start from the Sharks. And let's pull that to the left here as Marcus Smith. Right, 29 points to 22 in just the 3rd minute of the second half. So not the start the Sharks would have liked. And let's just see what Neil Powell does do. I'd like to see Grant Williams onto the park within the next 10 minutes. I think he adds so much to this team from an attacking perspective. Jaden Henderson, I think, has played well as well. But I think Grant Williams, it looks like really nice conditions as well. I think he'll really suit it out there. Up the tempo a little bit and cause Harlequins a few issues. Now, Kern Bosch going to the left-hand side, or go straight down the middle, actually. And Martian going up there and receiving it. It's a nice take from the outside centre, who will be leaving the club, actually, off to France. Danny Kerr pops it up to Joe Marler. Recently completed a ban. Now, Danny Kerr putting the kick in behind, and Thakia Abrams is aware to the threat. So, turnover ball here for the Sharks. Jaden Hendrickson going to Retich Baditswe and Chair, more affectionately known as Ox. Now, at first receiver, they're operated fastly, giving it to Pepsi Buthelezi, getting away from 1. Now looking to John, but they're trying to hold him up as Alex Dornbrunt eventually gets down, and Jaden Henderson looking towards the left-hand side. Now, once again, 2 Ox and Chair. Sits down 1, brought down by the second. It's Vilko Low. Now, inside for Operated Fastu, suddenly joining the line quite a lot. Trying to get looking quite involved with Operated Fastu. He's come back from injury now, Kern Bosch. Nice hands there, Dan and Kieran from Fury eventually taking it in. Kern Bosch goes himself. Is wrapped up and driven back by Joe Marler. So not too much to go for a ball here for the Sharks. Couple of options, and Ben Tapawai goes to the boot. And I think it's Dornbrunt that's managed to get down and jump all over that. So it's turnover ball here for Harlequins. Wasn't the best option there for Tapawai. Well, maybe the kick wasn't the worst option, but just the execution not quite there. Nice hit there on Stefan Levis. A slow ball this now for Danny Kerr. Looking to go to the boot here. plenty of chasers ready to give pursuit. He's gone pretty deep, so this won't be contestable. Apple Fassi goes up and brings it down well. The weekend special. Back from his injury. Back to Etech Vaditsu and Che. Steps aside one, but runs to a brick wall that is Vilko low. Henderson to Bosch. Bosch to Lacania. Lacania inside, outside of Marcus Smith is eventually brought down. Sharks not looking to go to the boot, interestingly enough. Not even Etzebeth. Well tackled by, I think it's Stefan Levis and Harry Stormbrandt. Now back. Bosch, not too much on, so he does go to the boot. Monas Porkita is around there. Does come off Monas Porkita. Two Sukimos and Noche, who is onto the park. And it's been spilled by Oxen Chair. Really good work there from Sukimos and Noche, who's just come onto the park. And if he managed to hold on to that, it would have been a nice bit of play there from the Sharks, but not. And as a result, we will have a scrum. John says the second team's weekend, something very wrong. Not really. They're playing really good sides and they're playing away from home. We're not playing Curry Cup here. Right, so break-in player as is a player down. I think it's a Harlequins player who's down and receiving some treatment, so a bit of a break. So Sigmund and Notcha on. I think it's for Sia Khaleesi from the looks. In fact, no, that Khaleesi with the strapping on. So I think it could be Pepsi Buthelezi. No, it looks like Pepsi Buthelezi is also still on. Cool, keen to see how Sigmund Ocha does this year. I mean, I've been really impressed with the way he sort of finished last year. Looks like a player who's got a lot to improve. Playing some of the looks to be playing close to some of his base. Was one of the few players during that SAA side during that tour that actually really put his hand up. I'll be saying Sharks need to make change. I'm just saying, come on, Sharks, just keep those pommies up. So just the one change so far, which is Sigmund in not chair. As I said, we like to see Grant Williams into the frame quite soon. He's a nice exciting player. I really enjoy watching Grant Williams play as rugby. I reckon probably the quickest player within the Springbok squad. Grant Williams, fun fact. Pretty solid scrum, but is available for Danny Kerr. Goes to Andre Estes and the Bulldozer, who eventually brought down Ben Tapawai. Kerr and Bosch affecting not much of a tackle there. Kerr popping up, going short to Vies, who goes to Erna Herbst. Presents it for Kerr. Nice little ball bringing in Daniel Lamb nicely. Taka Abrams up quickly. And is up to the tackle of bringing down Caden Murray. And a penalty for the Sharks. They're going straight out and sealing off. That's just the second penalty the Harlequins have had all conceded all game. Up at Fassi, a couple of words to Danny Kerr. Doesn't look very happy with life. And I suppose, one of the few players that Apple Fassi might be able to back himself against is probably Danny Kerr. So, why not? Why not? Right, penalty for the Sharks. Hopefully this will be a bit of a turning point. They can now try and get themselves into Harlequins territory. Harlequins have had 20 dominant collisions to the Sharks 10. Sharks 11 neutral. They've had 47% successful collisions compared to Sharks 11%. So I think that's... it tells quite a story that the Harlequins have been very dominant, very physically dominant. Curran Bosch got boot in a ball in hand, rather. He used to find a good touch finder. Not much of an angle to work with. And Harlequins have kept it in. It's brilliant work from Joe Marchand, who then puts in a kick down the middle of the park. It's fizzled out, and Sikamoto is underneath it, getting away from one. So Sharks in the reasonable field possession. It's not the worst result. Kanya, I'm trying to find a bit of space. So it's up to Fassi, in fact, and it's a nice drive as well from him. Good support. And a pen. No. Turnover's good. Joe Marler. And knocks the chair, wanting to make a big hit there. Danny Ken now. A lot of space in behind. And this is important. The ball does bounce. Who's going to bounce toward it? Bounces to Pepsi Buthelezi. Pretty end-to-end stuff here at the moment. And just back to Curran Bosch. Curran Bosch out to Lekanya Am giving a look at his options. Sees Evan Etzebeth next to him. Decides to bring him into the game. Etzebeth always going to absorb a couple of tacklers. Curran Bosch. Hopper, nice handling there. Oh, look at the head. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. Someone's got to straighten. Sia Khaleesi gets it out to Thacker Abrams. Thacker Abrams right up against the touchline. Manages to step inside Marcus Smith. Much better from the Sharks there. Finding a good field possession as they progress towards the 22. Now Curran Bosch. Give it to Retso Fadichet and share. Oh, that's been brilliantly ripped in the tackle by Alex Dornbrand. Goodness me, that's fantastic. So turnover ball once again. And Harlequins with a look to go to the boot. No, they've got a bit of space out wide. I think it's Estahage who's gone down to the left boot. Looks to keep inside. And Lekanya Am is backtracking. Marnus Porkita as well. They need to find some options here. Lekanya Am goes to Apple Fassi. And it's a bit of a hack of a kick. And it falls to Nick David. What's Nick David got to do? Steps away from one. Gets away from another. Gets away from... No, he's not going to get away from Eden Etzebeth. Lekanya Am getting over that ball. And winning the penalty. Brilliant work. Brilliant work. Well, pretty exciting passage to play there. Sharks not finding touch from the penalties. A pretty cardinal sin, really, isn't it? And couple of nice end-to-end. It was a really nice turnover there by Alex Dornbrand. Very impressive. But eventually Sharks winning the penalty. And this time Curran Bosch makes no mistake. He's not even giving them an option to try and keep it in. So he does sacrifice a bit of distance to make sure it goes out. Right. Two very big impact players now coming on for the Sharks. It's Intunu and Grant Williams. Grant Williams is going to add a lot of pace. He's going to add a lot of excitement, a lot of intensity. Intunu, a very nice ball carrier as well. But I've also been pretty impressed with the scrummaging recently. I think he's really starting to really grow into that all-round prop. And I think, there's no doubting his ball carrying ability. And that's a really poor line-out as Stefan Levis gets in front of the jumper and manages to steal for Harlequins. Joe Marler, big hit from Thomas Latoy. He then wants to get around, get his hands on the ball. Look, doing his best trying to disrupt that ruck. And slow ball here from Danny Kerr. Now Danny Kerr lifting it high. Tester here from Marnus Porkita. He does well. Looking to go himself. Gets away from one. We've seen how good he's been in contact earlier. He needs to get the offload away. He can't. He's brought down just beyond the halfway line. Quick ball there. A lot of Sharks players. Not sure going to Khaleesi. Pop it up to Lekanya Am. Quick ball now for Grant Williams. Going to Curran Bosch. Flat to Koblo. Steps away from one. Much better intensity this from the Sharks. Once again, quick ball there for Grant Williams. Curran Bosch. Going to Monster. Kevin from Fearon. Thacker Abrahams. Bringing in that pace. Half a gap. He's straight through. Thacker Abrahams decides to go to the boot. That's a dreadful kick. He's kicked it straight into the hands of Nick David, who's now looking to go end to end. He's going to go end to end. Has he got the pace? Is anybody able to bring him in? Lekanyam's desperately trying to reel him in. He's not going to do it. Thacker Abrahams from hero to zero has chipped it straight to Nick David. What a counter-attack try that is from him, though. He looks up. He saw acres of space ahead of him. He gets to the boot. He runs after it. He collects it. In the end, nobody had the pace to really bring him down. And that is a heartbreaking from the Sharks, who are starting to look good. But Nick David, take a bow, because that is brilliant composure. It must be said. I mean, Thacker Abrahams does so well to get away from one. Drifts into the middle, gets away from another. Has got so many options. And then he kicks it straight to Nick David, who's got quite a few options ahead of him. Bang, goes to the boot. He's got forwards all the way around him. Lekanyam's desperately trying to get from the other side, but the two wings were on the attack, so there's nobody there with the pace that's ever going to reel him in. And he says, thank you very much. I'll take a free try from you guys. And yeah, I think we'll probably start seeing Neil Power empty the bench now. We saw Right Williams coming on. I'm sure Intutuko Unu as well should be on as well. That could be the game, though. It's getting another very difficult margin trying to come back. They're 14 points once again. So 2 converted tries still gets them only within 2 points. Tawani's saying Sharks like the Bulls will lose the game. Our teams are pathetic. Sharks have actually, fun fact by the way, Sharks are qualified for the Champions Cup. Harlequins haven't. Before you get too apocalyptic about the entire situation. Obviously, why the hell did Abrams kick? Absolutely shocking decision, 100%. Tawani is once again being very positive about life. As I said, you will ignore the fact that Sharks have already qualified and actually didn't even need to bring their best team for this game. But yeah, sure. Guys are so negative. I mean, you go and beat Exeter and everyone's like, oh, this is amazing. You lose the next thing, oh, this is useless. I never understand people who are so like, as I said, like apocalyptic about every situation. As soon as every single loss is like this massive meltdown. And MJ stays, and that's a really good kick. He's put it to the boot now. He's struggling with pace. He has Curran Bosch on a bit of pressure. Curran Bosch is under a lot of pressure, gets bundled out. I think I might have heard a whistle there from the referee, though. Not sure what we're going back for. I think what we also see from our teams is how home advantage has been such a big thing. Here does come into Tuko Unu. I mean, you go and look at the results, and the Sharks beat the Harlequins in the first round. They then beat Bordeaux away in the second round, and then they hammered Bordeaux at home in the third round. So this would literally be the Sharks' first loss in the competition if they were to lose, and we're all having a meltdown about how pathetic they are. This is their best team. They should do better. This is also Harlequins' best team, just by the way. Bearing in mind that this is the Harlequins that have been one of the top Premiership sides in the last couple of years. Like, what this whole sort of obsession, well, where if we're not first, we're useless. It's got to end, guys. We've got to be a little bit, measured about the whole thing. I mean, this is the Harlequins that won the Premiership in 2021, by the way. 2 seasons ago. They won the Premiership. They're Premiership, champions. Came third last season in the Premiership, if I'm not mistaken. So you're talking about one of the top Premiership sides, which the Sharks have already beaten and are now being beaten away. And we're having a meltdown. God, I mean, it's bizarre. But hey, if you choose to be that negative and that upset, then it's to you. Johnny else says 2 losses already. Stormers won't win as far as the games this weekend. Lion has the easiest game, but it's the Lions. Back my buggers. Back my buggers. Tucker Abrams inside. It's a nice carry from him. A lot of pressure there from Anthakia Abrams. Yeah, I think this is going to be turnover ball. The Sharks had to get that ball out. And just saying we are fickle. Game was gone in the 20th minute. These guys are just there to visit relatives and friends. Yeah, no, I'm sure that a lot of these guys have gone over to London to visit. I'm sure Lekanyan's got plenty of family in London. No, man, there's so many boxes in your team. You need to do better. Yeah, it's fine. We'll just ignore the fact that, within the Harlequin side, you've got Joe Marler, Alex Dombrandt, Danny Kerr, Marcus Smith, Andre Estes, and Joe Marchand. I mean, those guys don't play international rugby. Volker Lloyd played for the Springboks. Quincy played well, Oaks. Also, you're allowed to play well. Teams are allowed to play well. The Sharks have really struggled with rack speed. That's been their biggest sort of undoing. But Quincy played well. Sharks have had good moments. As I said, if I was a Sharks fan, I wouldn't be panicking watching this. That's a nice win there from the lineup there. Gleesy going to Curran Bosch. Curran Bosch going to the Kanyamas. They look to run out of the 22. Fortune favoring the Brave is what they were asking. Grant Williams communicating with Curran Bosch, asking what the plan is here. Does go back to Curran Bosch. Got the eyes, sun in his eyes. But we'll find what looks to be a reason. No, won't find touch. Go straight down the throat of try scorer Nick David. So a couple of options to his left. Does shift down to the left, but Kieran Fury does well to make the tackle. Marcus Smith, dab over the top. Has that been what? Yeah. Oh, no. It looked like it was brilliantly read from Curran Bosch, and then he left it behind. Not a good moment from the fly half. And they've just thrown that to the midfield. Oh, no. Herbst can't hold on to that. It should be a knock-on. A great, great take from Herbst if you had taken it. What's happening in the SA20, by the way? Does anybody know? Is the Power Royals chase down the target at 74 for 4? That's a bit interesting. Yeah, that's a bit interesting, but Dave Miller's there. That actually should be all right. What a beautiful backdrop, eh? Twickenham in the outskirts of the stadium. Right, it's a bit of a break and play here. We will resume with a scrum. Right, scrum here. Still 20 minutes to go. So plenty of rugby ahead. Fassi off the back of the scrum. Just chip and chase. Oh, it's a big hit on Nick David coming from Upper Fassi as well. And a big counter-attack coming from the Sharks. So it looks like a really good work. And a penalty. That's really well played. Really, really well played. Yeah, it's a good kick there from Upper Fassi. Chipped over the top. Really good chase. A lot of pressure there. Stefan Levis guilty of going off his feet. Conceding the penalty. You see, this is the part with load shedding. Everybody's just absolutely miserable. John said, if Quins win, Bulls are out, so no one S a team down. Jean said, it's left team 10 to under before. I mean, you can't. I mean, what do you mean? When you say 10 to under before, it's the first time we've ever been in this competition. We've literally got no history in this competition. Bulls are never going to make it the way they've been playing. I tend to agree. They've been really poor away from home. They haven't travelled well at all. Tavani's saying S teams are rubbish away. That's just the fact even if it's not cold, it could even help like SA will still lose while the Sharks people do away. But you know he's counting. Bent up away off the back of them all there. Grant Williams going with a snipe there, and that ball just falling into Tukantunu, who I think knocked it on the ground. Did so it will be another scrum. But yeah, frantic. I think that was from Grant Williams. And look, I mean, it comes with the type of player. You know, he's a player that likes to play on the edge. He likes to sort of create things, play off the cuff. But I think he's just thrown a very poor offload to nobody really. Nobody was really expecting it either, and it's gone down and took Nkunu guilty of knocking it on the ground. We'll have another scrum here. Francois Fenter coming on. What a nice player to be able to bring on. Speaks to the depth the Sharks got. And Carly Sardi as well. The beast, the fridge. That is Carly Sardi. That'll help the scrum a lot. As we take time ticks down to the 60th minute, so 20 minutes left. Oh, that was been very dangerous. Joe Marchand almost in the gap there, but turnover ball. You see Khaleesi's got a bit of space there. Ball over the top. Tomas Porkita. He's got so many quiz players. Just puts his head down and managed to stay in brilliantly. See Khaleesi there to back him up. Back to Lekanya who's a little bit isolated. That ball comes loose. See Khaleesi picks it up. Gets away from one penalty advantage. See Khaleesi eventually brought down. He's been absolutely everywhere in the last capacitor play there. Slow ball. Yeah, for Grant Williams. There's a penalty advantage for the Sharks as well. I mean, it's a bit, and he's completely isolated, so it's a good turnover. But I think this should go back for the penalty for the Sharks. Right, penalty on the 5-meter line. And I believe I think he might take it quickly. Definitely won't. Right, decision time. Decision time. Right, so Kieran Bosch is going to... Right, so Kieran Bosch is going to chip this into touch, and they're going to go for the round. I mean, you score a try here, you make it 29-36. They're still in with a chance here. Still plenty of time to go. Kevin Furin goes to Covan Problem. That's a much better line out than the one earlier, which was intercepted by Stefan Levis. But doesn't look particularly well set here. There's the more. Kevin Furin has been patient, but Joe Morris coming around from the side and has left it though. Now a bit of a second shove here coming from the Sharks. Now Dornbrand's, I think he's come through the middle. Grant Williams needs to get that ball out. I think this is going to be a turnover ball. No, Grant Williams has managed. That's done brilliantly from Grant Williams. Let's see Khaleesi popping up to Pepsi Buthelezi, who bounces off Marcus Smith. Is eventually brought down to ground. Quick ball from Grant Williams. It took a corner on the shoulder. Solid carry from him as well. And it's a huge penalty. And I think it's Andre Estes that's come up with it. What a turnover that is. That could be the game. That could be a game-changing moment. Right, a couple of subs here. So Carly Sadi will take the park. And I think it's Tyron Andrews as well. So Joe Marler will leave the park. Carried quite a lot today. Joe Marler was very involved. And Meta Hawaii makes way for Francois Fenter. Right, 17 minutes left. And Lionel Cornier still on the Sharks bench. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw him coming on. Something a bit different. Oh, a bit of a fumble there, but the ball eventually gets down to the bottom. And the ball's hacked it, but it's a nice take there from Miles Porkita, who's drifting to the left. Trying to find half a gap there. Gets away from the tackle of Erne Herbst. Is eventually brought down. Grant Williams. Quick line speed. Really good work there from Francois Fenter, getting away from one. Well presented as well. Nice good start there for the new signing for the Sharks. And that's Dan Yost onto the park as well. Number 16 jersey. Kieran Bosch delaying his pass. Thacker Abrahams. It's a nice little pass on the outside. Abraham steps on the inside of Stefan Levis. Falls in front of Alex Dombrand, which is always dangerous. We've seen how good Dombrand's been on the ground today. And penalty. Oh, he wants to take it quickly to Grant Williams, but not taking on the mark. Yeah, I think probably a good idea just to slow things down. Go to the corner once again. So Dombrun goes over, has a go. I think he's entitled to have a go. And then, yeah, I think once he's off his feet and then he has another go. I think it's the call. So Kern Bosch finds touch. Should be just outside the 22. Opportunity to try and set up another running more here. A couple of new boys in the pack. So Daniel still have his first lineup of the day. It needs to be nice and solid. Right, Dan Eustace's first order of the day. I'm sure they go to the front. They don't. They go towards the back, and it's gone straight to the Harlequins' hand. Then Carly Sardi's dropped it. Now it's popped up to Sia Khaleesi. So, and penalty for sealing off against Sia Khaleesi. He can't believe it. He can't believe it. But it's another sloppy line out. And, you know, there's no point going to the corner. You know, there's no point getting the set piece, winning the penalty, and then really struggling off it. It's been a bit of a trend now for the Sharks. It's 2 or 3 lines that have now been quite sloppy. Yeah, I don't think the Springbok captain agreed with that decision, to put it mildly or politely. Right, but I have a look at it as it stands table in terms of the qualifying teams. Obviously, the Sharks have already qualified. So this game was pretty irrelevant for them, except for, you know, trying to get themselves within the top 8. So they do have a home, because they can have a home last 16 clash. They can have a home quarterfinal clash. Semi-final and final will be in Europe. That is a guarantee. Well, from what I understand, though, what I want to know is if it's a South African team in the semi-final and they finished higher, does the opposition get the home game? Is it a neutral venue? No, Harlequins on the attack here. First time they've had a ball in hand in a while there. Dan Just trying to get over that ball. Danny Kerr popping it up. And Esterhuizen just going very direct, as you'd imagine he would. Brought down by Intutuko Gluna. Springbok teammates. Danny Kerr putting in the kick from behind. Mars Porkita, a bit of a fumble. And not a good kick at all, which will eventually run out. Oh no, Mark Smith's trying to keep it in. And I think he's actually carried it out. So I think that should be a Sharks line-out. Yeah, it will be a Sharks line-out. So Mark Smith, in trying to keep it in and trying to keep it alive, has actually conceded the line-out. Right, Cabana Cobbler is replaced by Hiron Andrews. Solid players, Hiron Andrews. Playing really good rugby a couple of years ago in the Super Rugby before we had that break. Be nice to get back to that sort of form. Good take there from Eben Etzebeth. They've gone to the front of the line-out, which is always a good idea when things are starting to go badly. And it's also down. So Grant Williams goes to the boot, listed high in the air. Thaka Abrahams is chasing hard, as is Francois Fenter from the looks of it. Oh, Francois Fenter's just been basically slapped in the face, but managed to get back up. Oh no, he's broken away. And they're off. Oh, he's steaming through. Who wants him? Who wants him? The question is, who does want... I mean, Caden Murray eventually brought down by Grant Williams. What a carry back from the wing. He's just gone straight through. All of a sudden, the Harlequins inside the 22. Ball out to Marcus Smith. Not too much off. Goes to Andre Esterhuizen. Esterhuizen chips over the top. Joe Marchant, who's on the wing, wasn't expecting that. And Mars Porkita, wow, he's almost fumbled that. And we're going to go back. I think it was a call from the referee. Not sure what for. And all the pace there. And Grant Williams eventually, who is supposed to be one of the fastest players around, the man who reels him in. Mars Porkita almost makes a complete hash of this. Who, as he goes down, drops the ball almost right in front of Joe Marchant and eventually managed to get it the second go. I'm surprised to see they haven't put Lionel Cornier on. You know, I think he's someone who they're going back for a penalty, by the way, and I think Quins will take the 3 points here and pretty much just seal off the game. Surprised they haven't put Lionel Cornier on. You know, he's a mercurial player. He's a risk taker. He's an attacking, creative fly half, which when things go well, you can create magic. When things go badly, he can't put his team under pressure. But You know, when you're 14 points down with 15 minutes to go, I don't think you got much to lose, to be honest. So surprised to not to have seen him get into the park, especially considering that this is not a must-win game necessarily, you know. So yep, Mark Smith bangs it over. That should be the game, really, as they go up 39 points, 22. Ironically, the first time these two met down in Durban, it was 39 points to 31 was the final score. We basically can't have that scoreline unless the Sharks get 3 penalties. But why would they take 3 penalties, given the fact that they are chasing a lot of points? So yeah, but I think that'll pretty much bag it for the Quins. You would think anyway. 17 points ahead. Good take there from Joe Marchand. He's had a good game as the outside centre. He's a nice player as well. And his last play is Ezekiel, so he picks it up and goes straight through. It's the second time Danny Kerr has been guilty of not getting that ball out. Now Carly Sari bundles over a couple of players. And penalty as well. Grant Williams taking it quickly. Popping up Thacker Abrahams. Needs to get an offload away. And obstruction. That kind of sums it up, doesn't it? They try to take it quickly. They're trying to speed up the play. Trying to find a try. And the first thing they do is obstruction there from Grant Williams and Thacker Abrahams, who runs in behind Sigimoza Noche. Yeah, it's pretty... Although having said that, he's already been tackled when he runs through this. So, yeah. Pretty... I don't think he was much in it. But, yeah. Right, and there goes Danny Kerr. 350th game for him. He is replaced by Scott Steele, as the Stoop does rise to applaud the scrum-off hero. "36 years of age, Danny Kerr. Played a lot of rugby, and he's played it pretty much all for Harlequins since 2006. 350 matches for the club, 562 points, 87 matches for England. Played in the sevens as well. Got a Commonwealth Youth Silver, got a Commonwealth Senior Silver. Had a very good career, has the scrum off. Really nice to see as it stands table. So yeah, I think it looks like the Sharks might be missing out on a home playoff. If you go look at the table, they're currently sitting in second in the log with 14 points. Saracens, Chiefs, I think yeah, extra still to play. So yeah, if Sharks had won this, they would have had a home playoff. They might still, if the results go the right way for them. And they've got to get, they've got to be within that top sort of 8. Top 4, I think, in their pool. Now, here in Bosch wrapping around, giving it to Apelele Fassi down the side there. Apelele Fassi getting away from 1. Sharks right up against the left-hand touchline. Grant Williams bringing them back inside to Curran Bosch. Curran Bosch giving it to Francois Fenter. Francois Fenter, oh, it was a great offload, but straight to Stefan Levis. Now, Marcus Smith just hacks it downfield. Thacker Abrahams will reel it in and try and get the Sharks in the front foot once again. And it's really good chasing, it must be said. Putting a lot of pressure at the breakdown. And a penalty, though, for the Harlequins. I think it's the hard tackle, actually, is the call from Oscar Beard. Into the last 8 minutes. Having a lot of conversation here, Sharks. I mean, lads, there's 8 minutes to go. Curran Bosch, you can hurry up and kick this, mate. A little bit of sense of urgency would go a long way. It's just 3 tries, 8 minutes. I've seen it done before. Well, you know what they say. Never say never. Never say never. as Tom Lauday comes on to the park for Harlequins. Red zone efficiency. First half, Sharks 6.3 in the second half, 0. And I think that tells you the big story, isn't it? Harlequins 3.5 in the first half, 3 in the second half. So this has been consistently better throughout the game. The Sharks started well and then kind of dropped out in the second half. Not in the second half that they needed, unfortunately. And still not allowing Cornier, who remains on the bench. The only player that hasn't been brought on for the Sharks. Variation there. Dan Jooster giving it to Francois Fenter in the midfield. Grant Williams now to Singapore Noche. It's a solid carry from him. Off the left shoulder, Grant Williams comes to Hiron Andrews. Now Pepsi Buthelezi looking to try and rip that ball with Andre Esterhazen. Slow ball this time will be for Grant Williams. Going to Curran Bosch. Curran Bosch going to Carlos Sardi, who goes the very direct route. And advantage for offside. Grant Williams now to Curran Bosch. Curran Bosch to Lukanya gives it short to Sia Khaleesi. Strong leg drive from the captain. Etzebeth, good hands. Francois Fenter's 2-on-1 situation. Marnus Porkeeta will go over. Well, they finally get points on the board in the second half. It's probably too late. It's definitely too late, in fact, really. But it's well played in the end. It was a bit of an overlap. Etzebeth doing well to get the offload, and then it's a 2-on-1 situation. Francois Fenter running directly at his runner. There's a lot of traffic there. Sia Khaleesi dragging in 3 defenders. Quick ball from Grant Williams to Etzebeth. Bang, brings out Marcus Smith. Francois Fenter runs straight towards... I think it's Oscar Beard in the end there. Pops it into Marnus Porkeeta, who strolls over for the try. And Sharks get one back. And you would think though but I suppose the important thing is that's 4 tries. So that's actually a bonus point for the Sharks. So that's actually pretty significant because that'll move them up to 15 points. And if they were to get themselves within 7, there'll be another point. They can get to 16 points. So in fact, you know, a bonus point as that sails through they're 10 points off it. 1 try, and they'd have a losing bonus point. They'll be actually walking on 2 points. So yeah, it's a little bit to play for here in the last 5 minutes. Sharks can get 1 more try and they'll walk away at 2 points. They'll finish on 16 points. They've already qualified, as we know. But they can keep themselves in that sort of top 4 bracket, really, because Quins can only go up to 12. Racing can go up to 9. So the biggest issue for the Sharks are, you know, Saracens, Exeter, sort of Edinburgh, but Edinburgh would need a bonus point win to go up to 16. So yeah, get yourself that extra bonus point, get yourself to 16 points, and say, well, unless Edinburgh go and find a bonus win, they'll find themselves in that top 4, and they should have a home playoff. You know, they'll be frustrated because they think, you know, a bonus point win, if they were to win this game now when they've already scored 4 tries, they would have probably potentially secured themselves a home quarterfinal as well if they were to go that far. Then semi-finals, final. We are having a bit of a review here from the start, from the looks of it. Not sure what we're going back to go look at. We're having a look at tackles. I don't know if this could be foul play, potentially. That could make life interesting. So I'm not sure if this is going to be if the try could potentially be ruled out. If we're looking back at foul play and potentially at a card here. Right, Sharks player on the ground here. Dear. So basically, one of the Sharks players is guilty of holding onto Oscar Beard's foot. Which trips him up and which creates the overlap. Right, what's the decision here? What's the chat? And in terms of other matches, we've got Lens taking on Racing. And that's coming up shortly, about half an hour. No try. Oh my goodness. That sums it up, doesn't it? That just sums it up. After finally getting a try, it's actually going to be chalked off. Thacker Abrahams tripping a player in the right, taking him out of the defensive line. And as a result, the try is going to be chalked off. And you kind of just think, why? Why? Was there need to do it? Was there a need? Okay, so Sharks did have the penalty advantage, so at least they will have still have the penalty, so they can go back and try and score another one. Or again, you get yourself, if you take the 3 points, for example, 25 points to 39, you're within 14, you go score a try and you convert it, you're 7 behind. Yeah, 10 points gets you there. So they're going for the Blue Monster. The ref is one of the worst referees in the game. Like, did you just watch that? When you say that sort of comment after you just had a try rightfully chalked off, do you just choose not to see the incident, for example? Like, do you choose not to just see the fact that Thacker Abrahams trips Oscar Beard? Like, blatantly. And you can see him trip when he was trying to get into the defensive line, which creates the overlap. Or do we just choose not to see it? I'm always curious. Grant Williams now. This is good continuity here from the Sharks. Big carry there from Dan Euster. Big hit on him though. Thacker Abrahams inside one. He's got to try and make amends. It was his error that saw the try. And Andre Esterhuizen, and that is brilliant from him. Thacker Abrahams, who for me has really not come to the party at all today, gets a bit isolated. Apologies, not Esterhuizen. Looked like Esterhuizen. What a good turnover this is. So it's Esterhuizen that makes the tackle. And Scott Steele gets over. The Kanya it's a pretty average attempt at a clean out. They've lost the ruck. But Quins have not found touch. Right, so Donald Cornier, who's on the park, what can he conjure up here? Oh, he's eventually brought down back inside Quins territory. Pepsi Buthelezi. Williams now going to the Kanya Singapore in Norche, carrying hard. Can they find themselves a late try to get the bonus point? Carly Sardi. And penalty. Grant Williams taking it quickly. Not sure it's the right idea. Grant Williams. Oh, no, hang on. Has he got the pace? Grant Williams. Oh, my living. Pops it up to Noche. And he's managed to hold on to it. That's brilliant handling from Noche. What a quick tap and run that is from Grant Williams. I take it all back, son. Right, Lionel Cornier. Good pickup for Francois Fento off the ground, but that's killed all the momentum. He pops it back to Nsuko Munu, who's just going to straighten. Oh, my, that's a great tackle on him. Goodness me. That's how you stop a raging bull. Or shark, I suppose, if we're going to be fauna specific. And Fassi is over. It's pretty poor tackling. Good leg drive from Fassi. It all stems from that quick tap from Grant Williams. Pressure city. Look at the nerves and the face of the Sharks side. Big conversion to come. That is the bonus point try. Apelele Fassi, the weekend special, has scored on his return from injury. But now can Lionel Cornier bag the conversion, and can they find another one? Okay, saying the score right now, big time. Well, there we go. You called it, Michaela. I bet they'll chalk off this try as well. Well, unless there was another very legitimate infringement, they're not going to. Straight down the middle from Lionel Cornier. That's a great kick. That's a great conversion. 29 points to 39. As I said, very eerily similar to the reverse fixture that was down in Durban, which finished 59-31. And Neil Powell looking as stern as ever. He doesn't really do the whole smiling thing. And not that he would be, but I'm just saying he does a very good stern expression just constantly, doesn't he? But now the Sharks scoring again. If it's just a penalty, so basically they need to get themselves into Harlequins territory, win a penalty, kick it over, and get themselves an extra losing bonus point. If they can come away with 2 points, I think that's a success, to be honest. First things first, win the kickoff. Aaron Andrews has done that. Right, the question is Grant Williams willing to kick this, or are we going to keep this ball in hand? Grant Williams goes to Lionel Cornier. Francois Fenter to Lekanya So it's Apelele Fassi. And he's been held up here as Apelele Fassi. They got to get him down. They got to get him down. It's going to be turnover ball here. Yep, turnover ball. Far too upright for Apelele Fassi. He's not the biggest player. It's almost a bit of a rookie mistake, isn't it? You know, I understand really want to try and get through, but you're not the biggest player. The important thing is to just hang on to possession, isn't it? It's to manage to recycle. It's to not take any unnecessary risks. Try and hold on to that ball. Get yourself into their half. Try and win a penalty. Give Lionel Cornier an opportunity to knock another one over. Nick David has been voted the man of the match. Scored a very nice try earlier. Well deserved. Please not seeing Tyron Green from a safe perspective. It would have been nice to have seen him play. Now, the only hope you have for the Sharks would be to win a penalty off the scrum. Otherwise, yeah, it's been put straight underneath the feet there. If anything, this could be a penalty for the Harlequins. Yeah, penalty advantage. Marcus Smith pops it up to... Does anyone tackle him? I mean, old Thomas Allen is running around. Nobody really wants to touch him. The Italian backline player. And now I think Volker load looks almost balls pop back up. Still a penalty advantage of Harlequins. Marcus Smith dabs it over the top. It'll run into touch. Right, they'll go back for the penalty. The question is, do they even want to play, or do the Quins just tap it and just kick it out, really? I mean, they can't get any more points here, can Harlequins? They've got the bonus point win already. The question is now whether it's a case of them denying, the Sharks a point, which doesn't really make much of a difference. The Sharks are already on 15 points now. Quins will be on 13. They can't catch them. They can't get any more points. But hey, I suppose go for it. Points difference could be a thing, I suppose. Although Leon's already played, they go up to 12. So maybe, I suppose if Edinburgh get... I suppose that's the biggest thing. I suppose you're looking for a point for points difference now. Oh, just short. There's Marcus Smith, and they're on the doorstep. But turnover ball, knock on. That'll be the game from Sia Khaleesi. Right, final score: 39 points to 29. Almost the exact same score as what it was down in Durban. Sharks coming in and out of this game. It's not consistent throughout it, and Quins just the better side on the day. But Sharks have already qualified. The Quins have thrown themselves into the mix. The bonus point win puts them on to 12 points. They're currently sitting in 4th place in Pool A. Exeter Chiefs, Edinburgh Rugby, both still to play. But Harlequins do get themselves out ahead of the likes of Racing and Gloucester. So looking pretty good for them. Please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. We will be live for the Stormers game, which starts at 7:30. So we'll see you guys then. But apart from that, please do subscribe to the channel.